Doylestown, back to Greenfield, Massachusetts. Greenfield, Massachusetts, which I would have never lived there, except Jim Henry said, "You got a lot of house for your money in Greenfield." I wasn't going to buy a house. I'd never owned a house. I'm a folk singer. I rent.
Maybe you should do a Kickstarter.
My house. Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. No, actually, a fan told me she's going to leave me her house in Santa Fe.
Oh, yes.
A little casita. I'm like, really? Like, what about your daughter? I don't know. I don't know if that's really going to happen, but what a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Get that right.
It's all right if she doesn't. Well, when all that kind of goes down, you know, so I went back to Greenfield. I started licking my wounds because that's what we do in Greenfield. That is a town where everybody is licking their wounds. You can't swing a cat without hitting a halfway house. But that's what I love about Greenfield. We're all working on something. We're working on ourselves. We're working on our stuff. Everybody's on the up and up, taking responsibility for their mistakes and their troubles. Everybody says hello in Greenfield. Everybody's all right in Greenfield. I like it. And there's a ridge where you walk up on top of the ridge, and there's a little tower there. It's called Poet's Seat Tower, and I usually go there on the holidays because I spend them alone. Don't feel sorry for me. I like it. And but I go up there and I sit and I should have like a ponytail and a long flowing thing when I'm sitting up there on Poet's Seat Tower. I'm just looking out over my town on Christmas Day or New Year's Day, and I just think about them because they're just sort of nestled in this little cup of a valley. All my neighbors sleeping, waking up, opening their presents. I think about them.
That sounds a lot like the Grinch.
If I was going down their chimneys and stealing their gifts, then maybe.
That's sort of the way you describe it. Sorry.
I wasn't going like this. I didn't mean just a short ponytail. I meant a long flowing. I didn't mean 2 hairs.
You know what? Your heart is already 2 sizes bigger than most hearts. So, so you're already there.
You are like seriously sousing it up here right now.
I need a ride home.
Keep it up. Keep it up. No, but I did, you know, so I needed some help because I really was quite blue after the breakup. I was so blue. I felt so sad, and it happened this summer. I got through the summer okay, but then winter really was hard, and you know, stuff was just kind of piling on, and then I realized, you know, I was getting like super thin. Like I'm just kind of naturally thin, but I was getting like gaunt, and I remember one day, like, all I ate was a prune, just a single prune, and I thought, you know, I just couldn't find anything to eat. I think I need some help, you know, I need some help. So I did what you do. I went online looking for my help, and I just typed in counselors in Greenfield, and of course you get the list from Psychology Today, because they know who's there to help you in your town, and Psychology Today has a website, and they have like, you know, the faces of lots of altogether 2 happy-looking counselors, you know, standing by, just like, I can make you better, you know. We're gonna do that tapping thing, you know, like whatever. But they just all look so giddy, and I was like, no, I wasn't in the mood for all that. I was like, the distance between their giddy and what I'm feeling right now is too great. No amount of copays could possibly bridge it. And so I decided, I settled on a somber-looking fellow with a hat. He was an ex-minister and a Buddhist, and the Buddhist part really appealed to me. And his name was Rick. And the Rick and I met, and I remember going to see the Rick the first time, and yeah, I had to call him the Rick after a while. And there's the reason for that, but I don't want to say it out loud. But it has to do with a dog. Anyway. Oh gosh. I went to see him, and I told him my sad story, and I told him about my lonely prune that I ate, and all my heartbreak and everything, and I was just sort of splayed out on his wicker love seat. I don't know why he didn't get a full-length couch in there. You can't sprawl out on the love seat like you want to when you're being dramatic. And wicker, you know, it just wasn't that comfortable either, but maybe that's the point. They don't want you to stay all day, you know? And I really could have. He gave me an hour and a half for that first meeting. And I told him I thought I was going crazy. And then at the end of it, he asked me again. He said, "Do you think you're going crazy?" And I said, "No, I'm just lonely." It was like the most pathetic thing. But then after I said it, then I realized, oh, I have to pay him now. And we hadn't talked about it. I knew that he didn't take my insurance. That much I knew. And I had come with $80 cash. It's all I had. I wasn't working. I was too depressed to work. Like I wasn't doing anything. But I managed to scrounge up some $80, put it in my back pocket, and walked through the snow to meet with this guy and just hoped this was going to be enough. So at the end of it, I said, "How much?" And he leans forward with his elbows on his knees, and he's looking at the acoustical tiles in his little shared office that he's working out of, and he says, $10. And like all of my anything that I was thinking about myself and my problems just went away, and I went into like coaching him on how much he could charge. And I was like, "No, you can't charge $10 like that. Not for the service that you're offering. It's definitely worth more than 10." I said, "I'm not a charity case here. Like I don't have a lot of money, but I can pay more than 10." And he's like, "Nope, $10." And I just peeled it off and rolled my eyes and gave it to him. And he said, "I'll see you in 3 days." I said, "Okay." So 3 days later, I come back and I fall apart on the wicker love seat again. And then at the end of it, I remember I'm going to have to pay this guy. And now I have $70 in my pocket. And I ask him, I say, "How much?" And he says, "How much did we do last time?" And I'm embarrassed because now I feel like I'm going to say 10 and he's going to go, "Oh yeah, what was I thinking?" And so I tell him 10. And he says, "Yeah, sounds good." And I'm like, "Seriously?" And he's like, "Yep." And after a year, he raised it to 20. That guy was an angel. And not only was he cheap, he was effective. Super effective. We got to the bottom of my problem. Part of it was the Dave Carter thing. And part of it was I just didn't know how to fight well with people. I didn't know how to have a heated argument. And so it just things would escalate, they would get nasty, and then I would hurt people with the things I would say in an irreversible kind of way. And I'm not going to say unforgivable. It's all forgivable, but in an engagement-breaking sort of way. And I said, "What do I do, Rick? What do I do with this information?" And he says, "Well, have you thought about writing a song about it?" And I was like, "Write a song about it, really? Okay." I joined this songwriting project. The first prompt was vulnerable. I thought, yes, I've made many people feel vulnerable with this sword I have under my tongue. So this was the song I wrote last year, right around this time, February of 2018. This was the most played song on folk radio. This was #1. This sad song about a girl with a sword under her tongue cutting up men on a month that's supposed to be focused on hearts and flowers. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. This is a sing-along. This is your part. Chicka-cha. Ready? We're going to try it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Chicka-cha. And again. Chicka-cha. And again. Chicka-cha. Once more to make it stick. Chicka-cha. Very nice. Wendy, I'm afraid I don't know what I'm made of anymore. Can't make sense of all these shatterlings upon the bedroom floor. There'd be no sleeping here, just blurs of sorrow through the open door. Should've warned those boys about me, should've warned those boys. Never mean to, but somehow I always spill the loving cup. It's in some passionate exchange, it's in the way I don't let up. Can I trust myself in love? Seems I always fuck it up. Better warn those boys about me, better warn those boys. 'Cause I'm bruising everyone. There's a hole in the palm of my love. first love wouldn't tell me why he changed his mind about our plans. A vicious word I spoke just burned the gold right off the wedding band. Kept it to himself and now the ashes flying through my hands. Should've warned that boy about me. And Andy, I'm afraid this story's gonna play out like the rest. I'll take this broken bird and hold him to my hopeful heaving chest. Sing the mountain down while God remains so bleak and unimpressed. Should've warned that boy about me. 'Cause I bruise them, everyone. There's a hole in the palm of my love. I cut them, they run through the hole in the palm of my love. Here we go, 3 in a row. Chicka-cha. Chicka-cha. One more, here we go. Chicka-cha. Should they lock me up, oh Andy, would you throw away the key? And let's not talk about the girl I was and the wife I'll never be. Let them cut the sword from underneath my tongue and set me free. Say something good about me, say something good. Though I bruise them, everyone, there's a hole in the palm of my love. I cut them, they run through the hole in the palm of my love. There's a sword under my tongue and a hole in the palm of my love. Here we go. Chicka-cha. 2 more. Chicka-cha. Chicka-cha. Andy, one more thing, I'm leaving this old violin to you. For all those easy nights and emails and the honest talking to. For every lie I told, I never played a note that wasn't true.